offline, all right? Wow, why is everybody standing in the back half of the room? What's wrong?
Because
We're
it
scared
gets
of you.
Wow, why
kids
is
might
everybody
get
standing in the
something
back
on my
half of the
clean
room?
Yeah,
dress.
yeah.
You're scared of you and your house.
Specifically.
All right, all right.
Kids might get something on my clean dress.
Okay, let's turn up everything. We should be good to go. Turning up voices. That's a terrible noise. Whatever that noise is terrible. Please stop. And okay, let's do it. All right, so everybody, welcome to our product meetup. We've got a lot going on this week. I hope everybody enjoyed the Glitch Mob and the Monster Cats. We have Comic-Con stuff going on, so after this you can pop into our new Comic-Con experience where you can be given a tour of some pretty cool Hollywood memorabilia that has to do with comics, I guess. And yeah, that's what's going on. We also have Kelly Who will be with us on Saturday if anybody's around. Kelly Who is famous for playing Lady Deathstrike in the second X-Men movie. She also plays China White on Arrow, and she's done a lot of other stuff, including being, I guess she was Miss Teen USA in 1985. So for all of you who are around and you were paying attention to that contest, Kelly Who won that contest. Very exciting. Today we're going to be talking about UGC Quest and the XP system. So that's pretty exciting. As per usual, we'll be doing the question and answer session at the end of the meetup. So somebody's talking right behind me. That's pretty exciting. So go ahead and leave your questions in chat or Discord or Twitch, and we'll try to collect them all. Yeah, here we go. So I'll turn it on over to... Actually, let's introduce everybody here, just in case you don't know. If this is your first time at the product meetup, I'm Galileo. I'm the community manager at Sansar. And then the rest of these Sansarians, somebody's talking again right behind me, can introduce themselves.
On the right side there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Work from the
Cool.
right to the left.
All right, sweet. Hi, everyone. I'm Kara. I'm the product manager for the Avatar team. I also help out with the e-commerce team. So if you have any questions about those topics, just shoot me a question. All right, that's it.
Hi everyone, I'm Astari and I'm the design director on Sansar. Handle pretty much all the UI UX as well as a lot of the gameplay and gameplay systems in Sansar.
Hello everyone, I'm Stanley. I'm product director on Sansar. I work very closely with the product managers on the team, Bowden, Alex, and Kara, just on all the features that they're working on. I'll be talking a little bit about the XP system later.
He's the person you want to get mad at if anything happens.
No.
Yeah.
You heard director. You heard director in his title. So just wanted to let you all know.
Yeah, so it's not my fault. No, just kidding. My name's Alex. I'm the product manager on the directed play team and on the Quest initiatives. So I'll be talking about the Quest tools that we'll be releasing here soon.
Harley?
Oh, yeah, it's my turn. Sorry. Hi, I'm Harley. I'm the team lead for Sansar support. And so, yeah, if you have basic technical issues or you have questions, concerns, you think something shouldn't be on our platform, feel free to let me know. You'll see me around a lot of places. So, hi.
And I'm Nix. I'm a project manager here, so mostly trying to make sure that everyone stays on schedule and that we keep turning out releases with new features. So anything scheduling roadmaps, I work a lot with the Avatar team and render team and backend team.
All right, awesome. That's everybody. So now you know who to yell at, whose fault it is, and when I throw people under the bus, when you ask me questions, now you'll know who they are. Okay, that was a joke. That's okay. So people on the Sansar team were like, "Oh, I see what's going on." Okay, so now we're going to talk about Quest, and I'm going to turn it over to Alex.
Yeah, so we hope to either, I think probably sometime Friday afternoon, if not Friday early next week, release a point release, which is going to include the first version of our in-client Quest authoring tool, and also a new library of scripts, which allows you to very easily connect all the quests that you're creating in our new quest creation tool and all those objectives to objects in the world and ways that you're going to interact with them, and it all integrates nicely with simple script systems too. So as of the next release, you'll have a quest editor tool where you can create a new quest, you can add objectives to it, you can add description and titles to all those objectives and even the quest itself. You can reorder all of those objectives, you can edit it to your heart's content anywhere you want at any time. As you're creating, you can even build a scene and test it and reset that quest progress from within that tool if it's your own quest, so that you can just quickly iterate from within play mode. You don't have to like go back and build a scene and then try it again. So we tried to make it pretty seamless and easy for you guys to do everything within the client. You don't have to go anywhere external other than to, upload whatever assets you might want to use otherwise. But it's all pretty inclusive. The UI might be a little rough initially, but we've already got some pretty nifty ideas for how to improve that design. That being said, totally open to hear your guys' thoughts and concerns once you see the new tool. And I'm excited to see what you guys make with it, because it's gone from like what we had to do to build the quest that you guys already see in Sansar to what we can do now. Like, it took me like a month to build everything that you see in Sansar now quest-wise, and I could probably redo all of that in just a couple of days with the tools we have at our disposal now. So it's really powerful, even in its just first form. And then down the line, not quite in this upcoming release, down the line though, you'll be able to connect those different quests together in sets of storylines with prerequisites, like quest A needs to be completed before quest B. Now that's not happening just yet. You'll only be able to create individual quests that aren't necessarily connected, but you still might be able to find interesting ways to have one quest locked behind certain things in your scene that only unlock after completing a different quest. So it's not to say you wouldn't be able to add multiple quests to a single scene yet. I mean, right now, which you will be able to do. And I'm really interested to see what you guys make with it.
I have a question, Alex.
Yeah, of course.
Can we give out rewards, item rewards?
That's a really good question.
In the quest authoring tools?
Not yet. There is actually a tab in the quest authoring tool for rewards, but it has a cheeky little coming soon message. So that is not yet available. And any quests you create won't they definitely won't give out any rewards yet, but we do plan to allow you to associate item rewards with your own quests in the near future.
Awesome. Okay, so that's coming pretty soon, according to some cheeky messaging, and also you can go and make quests now. Do we have any questions real quick?
Yeah, please. What is the motivation for people to do quests if there is no reward or something?
Just directed activities. So if you're a scene creator and you want to push someone in a specific direction in your experience, now you can create a quest that's offered to a player when they arrive in your scene by some way, and like actually point them at the things you want them to go and see in your scene. Now, you have a totally valid point, which is why would the player necessarily want to go do those things if they're not being rewarded? But we totally understand that, and very soon you'll be able to associate rewards with that quest. But in the short term, we figured it would be better to give you guys the tools to start creating those quests. And down the line, you can associate and update rewards with the quests you create now. So we're not like pinning you into a corner or anything. It's just giving you the tools sooner so you can start creating some stuff now, and we can start getting feedback on those tools quick.
Yeah, from our perspective, we had this discussion internally of the quest tools are ready to start playing with. The item reward portion is not quite ready yet. And so we considered, do we want to hold off and not give you guys the tools to play with until we have the quest rewards ready? And we figured, you know what, it's better to give you what we have now and then add in later rather than keep holding it off and not give you guys a chance to play with it, give us feedback on the tools themselves.
Tia Winters has a question, which is, where do you see the quest feature? You can't see it yet, obviously, but it will be in the Create tab on the left side menu. There'll be a new option to create quests, which will open a new panel with all the stuff you need to create quests.
All right, so not available yet. Okay, next we've got Stanley and Astari, and again, if you have questions, you'll be able to ask at the end of the second half of the product meetup. Okay, so we've just covered quests, so now we have the XP system, which somebody just asked about. So Stanley and Astari will be covering that.
Yeah. So the quest system that Alex is describing is coming out relatively soon. The XP system we will likely get into one of the following releases. Not as soon as the UGC quest system, the user-generated content quest system, but we wanted to make sure to give you guys some idea of which way we're heading. You're all probably familiar with experience points. They work basically the same in most of the games that you've played, and we are starting out with a basic system as well in Sansar. So that means that as you participate in activities, you will receive points. Those points then go onto a scale, and that scale will assign you a level whenever you hit a certain amount of points. So your level will rise over time. It's very basic stuff. The first release that we plan on putting out with XP involved will primarily allow XP to be earned through the quests that we have now. We do eventually plan on opening up other activities as we implement them to make them earn XP as well. So maybe that's like playing a game of bowling. Maybe that's exploring a world somehow. Maybe that's selling things in the store. These are all things that we plan on investigating to hook up to allow for earning experience points as well. Now, the way that we are, the one unique thing that we are doing with our XP system that you may not see in most other games is we are splitting up our XP into 3 different traits. As we're thinking about the long-term future of how people will play and interact with other people in Sansar, we've split up the activities into 3 general buckets. The first one being explorers, the second one being socialites, and the third one being creators. I know these are very broad categories, but we feel like this encompasses nearly all of what happens in Sansar. Explorer being if you like to go around, visit new worlds, if you like playing games that people are creating in those worlds, you like interacting with objects, that's what we generally define as explorer. If you are into more social behaviors, going to events, going to concerts like the Glitch Mob and Monster Cat events we had, making friends, talking with friends, interacting with friends, participating in activities that require more than one person. Those are what we consider social activities. And then lastly, creators. So if you really like Sansar because you love creating things, you like creating accessories and clothing for avatars, you like creating games, you like creating new experiences, we want to be able to enable earning experience points for those type of activities as well. We don't have more details on the very specific activities. We just wanted to let you know the general groups that we are thinking of when we are designing the experience point system. We also plan on having a level cap. So just by the virtue of the fact that when we first put the system out, there won't be a whole lot to do yet, and we want to watch and see how users are participating in the XP system. So we will start out with a level cap that is relatively low. We're not going to let you earn XP, beyond what we can control, because we just want to make sure we see how people are, how it's balanced and how people are taking it and getting feedback. However, we plan on, like most other online games, we plan on increasing that level cap as we add in more activities, as we add in more ways to earn experience points. And one of those ways to earn experience points is we also plan on letting you, the creators, give out experience points as well. So with the UGC quest system, you will be able to give out item rewards eventually. But following that, we also want to let you guys give out experience points for the quests that you create. We will have more details on that at a later date. I just wanted to assure you guys that yes, the quests you create, we will be able to give out experience points for at some point. The other thing to keep in mind is we plan on creating a milestone system for the levels, which is very basic. As you achieve new levels, certain levels will unlock new rewards for you. Let's say you hit level 5, you will receive a reward. Level 10, level 20, whatever we consider those milestones. We don't want to go into too many details about what those rewards might be. We'll talk more about that at a later date as well. And then lastly, for those of you who want to create content, the plan is also we do want to expose a user's level to you, the creator. So if you wanted to say this quest requires you to be level 5, that will be that will be something we want to allow you to do as well. So being able to gate content based off a user level, we plan on allowing. Those are just some of the first details we have to talk about for the XP system. Again, if you've seen an XP system in any other game, it should be very similar with some of our own Sansar specific qualities, mainly the 3 buckets of Explorer, Socialites, and Creators. And so that's just to help classify what are people doing in general in Sansar. This person's more creator oriented, this person is more social oriented, and we'll see how that goes. We'll definitely want to hear your feedback on how this system works, and we're very open to adjusting based off your feedback and all the information we're getting back from you.
All right, that was a lot. Okay, so I think that's all we're covering formally today that we've planned. So now let's go ahead and get to the questions, unless anybody else from the Sansar team had anything else to say before we get started. All right, let's go ahead and get to it. Our first question of the day comes from the incomparable Silas, who asks, when do we get high heels? That's the best way to start this, I believe. So let's go ahead and answer that immediately.
Still no progress on high heels. I mean, it's something that we still want to, support in the future, but currently it's on the roadmap, in the immediate roadmap at least.
All right, so not in the immediate roadmap. High heels, still just a pipe dream. Okay, good to know. Daisy.
I desperately want, it's just hard to realize.
Say that again?
Something we desperately want, it's just hard for us to get it.
I don't know who said that.
You're a little light, Landon.
Oh, it was
That was
Landon.
Landon.
Oh, okay, I
Yeah.
couldn't hear him.
Just super
Landon,
quiet.
you should come up here.
Yeah, Landon, what are you doing back there?
I don't know.
Does he have megaphone on?
I don't think so.
He does now.
He does
I
now.
didn't know he was here. Yeah.
Wow. All right, special guest, everybody. Landon, do you want to introduce yourself? Oh, man, it's turned
No,
into a whole
not really.
thing. Okay, that's Landon.
Chief Product Officer over Sansar.
Whoa. Remember what I said about complaints earlier, guys? There you go.
Come on, Cal.
All right. But also praise. That's also good to go to Landon. Daisy asks, regarding new Avatar 2.0, who is going to provide the Avatar file for Marvelous Designer? Sansar, or is Marvelous Designer taking care of that? And if Sansar does that, is it possible to make the next Avatar file including the rigged bones? Because it would be a great help designing.
Yeah, so we are working with the Marvelous Designer team. Once we update the avatar, we will give them the updated assets. As for having the rig bones in the avatar file from Marvelous Designers, the version that's integrated with Marvelous Designer, I'm not sure if we can add the rig bone there, but that's something I can check with the team, and we can look into it.
Okay. All right, so we're looking into it. All right, thanks, Daisy. Daisy has a question for me. The store page is showing is always showing a few themes: gay pride, formal wear. Wouldn't it be a good idea to announce beforehand the coming themes so that creators can anticipate that? So yes, the short answer is it would be great if we could give you more heads up, and we'll work on that. One of the problems is one of the things we have to deal with is whether or not we can actually get those things up on the store in time. So it becomes a bit of a timing issue, and so sometimes if we announce it and then it doesn't show up, then we risk people getting angry that they made stuff and then we ended up not getting a theme up. But generally, yes, we can definitely work on getting those announcements out ahead of time. That's something I specifically can work on. So yes, thanks for that feedback. We'll be getting those out sooner, as soon as we can in the future. Okay, from Evo Av on Twitch. This is a comment. I hope the questing system will encourage people to use scripts. Yes, that's correct. So we also have, for those of you who don't know, although I've seen some of you there before, we have a scripting office hours that we set up a while ago that takes place more or less every Wednesday, or we might be moving it to Tuesday, but it's every week. So if you like that kind of thing, let me know, and I can see if I can grab some of our big brains in Sansar to hold more of those kinds of meetups every week, so that way there can be some regular help. And I suppose we might even try to get some tutorials from maybe Zayas. I might ask you this offline, or Alex rather, if we can get some a couple of tutorials on questing and that kind of thing in the future, so everybody can come in and learn how to do it without having to teach themselves.
Yeah, we actually have some documentation written up right now that has some basic tutorials for just how to set up your first quest and use the new script library to make it all work and test it yourself. So as soon as we release that feature, you'll have that documentation available, and you should be able to quickly and easily start setting up your own quests.
All right, cool. That's good news.
Yep.
So
And you'll be able to find that documentation in the knowledge base, which is under help.sansar.com.
Yep. And if anybody makes a quest and you want to write up your own user guide, we still have that user guide section available on the forums. And again, the more use that gets, the more, by the way, just as a sort of reminder, the more use that forum gets, the better off we'll be able to make a case for getting a wiki later, which I know people have been asking for a long, long time. So that's just a sort of another reminder there. Okay, El Diablo asks, I've seen with some of the events there's ticket sales to enter. Will that be available to us, or is it already?
I don't believe that's currently available for user-created events. I haven't seen anything on the immediate roadmap for that, but we can definitely let the product team know that that's being asked for.
Bowden is the events product manager. He's out at Comic-Con this week helping show off Sansar at a booth down there. So we hope he's having a good time. He's actually, I think, online somewhere showing it in World somewhere with Comic-Con attendees. So we can ask him that. But I do believe the plan is long-term. We do want to allow users to create tickets. We're really trying to polish the system right now for internal use before we let you guys use it. But I don't know when that might be.
All right, cool. So we can expect it someday, but we don't know when that day will come. All right, we'll talk to Bowden about that as well and make sure he gets that feedback. Tia, we've answered a couple of your questions already. They've been answered. I'm not saying you had another one we're not going to answer. Joss Sam asks if there's a sitting plan.
Yeah, and I imagine this has some relation with the other question a little bit further down from Disney Huntress, which is, are we going to have sit points that work with moving animated objects soon? And the answer to that is we very much want to support that sort of thing. It's not on the immediate roadmap, but we are actually talking this week and early next week about the prioritization of those types of things. So we'll have a clearer picture for when those types of features might be landing maybe next week.
And I have a question, just since we're working really hard on a game that will be using the Quest system, but the biggest difficulty perhaps that we have is to even out the discrepancies between desktop and VR. For example, we have a bat that you can beat zombies with, and you do want to be able to use that swinging it, but it's almost impossible to do it with the current system because you can't attach it to the hand, and so I think that will be becoming increasingly more important because otherwise you make a game and it's either VR centric or desktop centric, and we just need a few more tools to bridge that gap better.
Yeah, I totally understand. We've got the same problem with mini golf, right? You go there at desktop and you end up just throwing golf balls around instead of actually playing mini golf.
Yeah.
So I totally hear you. We've got some discussions internally about how to tackle those sorts of problems. I don't want to speak too much about them because I don't want to make you guys think that some of that's coming sooner than it might be. But I would love to talk more about that once, especially we have Stretch back in the office when he's back from vacation. That'd be a really good time to talk about those things.
Okay, cool.
Stretch is Sean T, for those of you who have seen
I forget.
Stretch in these before. Product meetups, okay.
Real quickly on that note about desktop and VR users and the gun script, there are a number of issues with the gun script. I wonder if the team knows about them, if you're working on them? Like after so long, the gun just breaks. You can't use it anymore.
I'm not directly aware of that issue, but throw it in chat and we'll add it to the list and we'll look into it.
All right. Timmy, I can't tell if you're raising your hand or if that's just a, there we go, a baton
I'm
holding.
raising my hand.
You've been holding it up for quite a long time. Do you want to type your question or do you want to just go ahead and ask it?
Well, I was wondering with the new XP system if our current achievements that we've done will be grandfathered in, or are we going to start from scratch?
When you say current achievements, what are you referring to?
Well, I'm a content creator and recently just hit 20k items off of my store, and that could be classed as an achievement.
Oh, I see. So we've talked internally about an achievement system that's not part of our initial release of XP. So XP is going to be we're going to start from scratch. It's going to start only counting activities that you've participated in. However, we do plan on grandfathering in if you completed some of the existing quests that are out today, and those quests now give out XP. Because we don't have a way for you to redo those quests, we will give you XP for having completed those quests in the past. What you're describing as more achievement-based stuff, I don't think we don't have anything to talk about yet for that, because that's more of a long-term achievement system, which again we're thinking about, but we're not going to announce anything for that. Istari, did you want to make any comments?
No, I mean, you've pretty much covered it, Stanley. I would say that philosophically, I do agree, though, that in general we will make every attempt to grandfather in where we have the information and the data available to us. We'd like to grandfather in any sort of achievements that you guys have already achieved if we're going to introduce a new system or achievements or something that would trigger off that. So that would be the intent and the goal. We'll see how things shake out as we actually develop the features moving forward. But yeah, Stanley covered the rest.
All right, cool. So Timmy will we'll be waiting. We'll be waiting for that for a little bit. But congratulations on your achievement in general. It's a lot of stuff. Okay, Ja asked, I don't think he's here anymore, but maybe this will be useful for other folks. Can we somehow make a video player, can we make the, sorry, I'm trying to translate this. Can we have the media screens play random videos, for example, from a YouTube playlist? And your own experiences. So I think he's talking about interacting with the YouTube user interface through the media screens, or if there's some sort of functionality that will allow us to play stuff at random, so like shuffling a song playlist or something.
There are already scripts available in the store that let you control a media surface and change through different pre-designated channels. I think someone linked one of those already in chat immediately after he asked that question, but there are certain controls you have over a media surface through scripting tools available to you.
Well, in other words, it's something that the community can write and provide as a product. So maybe someone jumps on that.
Oh, some business tips from Bagnaria. There we go, everybody. Okay, next question. Asha Sakayara asks, do XP points carry a total across all experiences?
Yes. The XP system we're talking about is global. So it's not like you go into my experience, you earn 10 points there, and then you have only 10 points in my experience. It's meant to be a global system.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay. Zero Cheese asks, question, what about a pop-up for people, say, when they are in my experience and I update it, telling them the experience you are in has just been updated by the creator. Click to teleport to the updated version, or something like that, so that they know an update to the current experience was just uploaded.
Not a bad idea.
Nice, Zero Cheese. You actually have some cheese now. That's +1 cheese for you. It's a good idea. All right, so we'll look into that. And, okay, next, General Zod. Question, what's the point of the leveling system in the end? Do we get a fancy emblem next to our name or a cool rank in our profile when we max out?
Yeah, I can actually speak to this a little bit. So the goal here with a number of these different systems, if you look at the questing system, the experience point system, we have some other improvements that we're planning in the future, like and there's also rewards. All of these things tie together into what we in the gaming industry call a core loop, and so this will drive players to continue to seek out fun new activities, get rewards, and hopefully in the future gain social status, gain fun rewards for their avatars to trick themselves out. And yeah, whether that's a profile treatment or a new cool look for your avatar, there's a variety of things that we could sort of leverage once we have this structure in place. And so it's going to take a little bit of time to build all the elements out and get them all integrated. But once they're all cooking together, I think the user-generated content community should be really happy with the tools available, and so should the players.
Starry, what
So-
sort of... oh, go ahead, Bagnaria.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but since it's Starry speaking, there's a lot of things that to my eyes are a little bit inconsistent and sometimes just way too much in your way, like the emotes, for example, when you want to switch your dances up. But it's this big thing that is in the center of the screen. Is that being worked on?
Yeah, that's super insightful and definitely a good observation. You know, there's a number of improvements that we've identified for the UI UX. We've prioritized getting these core features and sort of foundation layer of our feature set and technology in place first, but we are intending on improving the emote system UI that you just mentioned, along with a number of other similar types of problems in the UI UX. And so you can look forward to that in coming releases. We don't have anything immediate to announce, but we literally just met yesterday on emotes, to your point. So so we're aware, and I think it's going to be coming. It's just a matter of getting all these foundational pieces in first.
And then just getting back to the XP system, right? At the start, it will just be a number that goes up. Your level gets higher and higher. If that's all it was, then I don't think we've done our job. So there will be a point to it in the end. There will be things that you will earn for getting a higher level. We don't want to mention any of those things yet because we're still working on them.
Starry, real quick, what's your background in gaming and creating quests and whatnot?
My gaming industry experience goes back over 20 years. Started in the tabletop game industry, doing some things with Wizards of the Coast and Iron Crown Enterprises and Games Workshop and a number of other companies. And then I went into, made some MMOs with NCSoft and Gazillion Entertainment. Then I went into the mobile industry for a while, worked with Respawn Entertainment, got into some augmented reality, and then here I am in Sansar, and this platform and this team is amazing, and so's the community here, and so I'm really happy to be here.
I'm glad to hear you say all that, because it would be really cool if we could get you in to Sansar in the future for a couple of best practices for creating quest loops, so the community can learn from an expert.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, happy to do that. And well, I've also got a team member, Christine, is working and helping to architect quests, and I've worked with her in previous MMOs, and she was originally on Blizzard's quest team when World of Warcraft first launched in the early 2000s, and so Zayas also has been doing a lot of great work, and so we'd be happy to meet and connect on quests or anything else.
That sounds awesome. Okay, community, if you're listening and into that, why don't we go ahead and let me know if that sounds interesting to you in the Quest channel on Discord, so we don't waste their time if only nobody shows up or anything. All right, I'll remind you all of that after the meetup. Okay, next question. Harmonic, when are we going to get JPG files to when we get JPG files support in Sansar for objects materials? So when are we getting JPG file? Harmonic, is that, am I asking that right?
Yeah, you talk about JPEG.
Last time Z, I think, told that you're working on it to make it as fast as you can. So I asked if it will happen soon or it will take much more time.
Okay, thank you.
Z was talking about it last time.
Garth, do you happen to know anything about that?
What?
I don't actually.
See, in the last product meeting, he said that he's really into it and you're working on it to have
Yeah. I understand. And Kara's the one that heads up the department that Z's working in, so I was asking her if she knew more.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard about that. I think it's one of those things that we do want to get to, but we currently aren't working on. But I can follow up if they're actually working on that.
Oh,
All right, thanks, Harmonic.
Okay.
Yeah, so Kara or I will probably reach out to you on Discord or something, and we'll let you know. Okay. Disney had her question answered, I believe. Okay, Naya has a couple. Kara, easier point to grab on an MD pin? Oh, can we have an easier point to grab on an MD pin in the style of my avatar, please?
Yeah, we can look into that. We are aware of that. That's the current pain point. Pinning isn't really great right now, and it's really hard to find your pin. So that's something we will work on. Not soon, but we'll put it in our roadmap.
All right, Naya has another question. Alex, do the quests carry across multiple experiences? Can you do quest across multiple experiences?
Yes, you can. Now, you can create an entire quest in one experience, or you can spread the objectives of a single quest across multiple experiences. It's totally up to you.
Oh, that's really cool. Okay.
You can actually, and one more thing, you might have noticed it in our own quests, but you can put links to scenes in your objective names. So, like, if you want to send someone to a specific place, you can even just type the URL into the objective, and it'll just truncate into the title of the experience as a hyperlink. So that's one way to send people to places, or you could, set up a portal that opens when you complete Objective 2, and Objective 3 is to walk through the portal to get to the new place and tackle all the challenges in the new place. So it's totally up to you how you want to set it up.
Naya just asked, can you do that in conjunction with other creators' experiences?
No. So you're going to have to own the experience, and you're going to have to, whichever account owns the experience is the one that's going to have to be doing the quest setup too.
All right, there you go, Naya. Zero Cheese, can we please get support for the 3D connection mouse? It would make building experiences easier and camming around for video much more stable. 3D mouse is supported on SL and also Blender.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic. I think we'd, in the future, like to look into things like that, but in the more short term, we're looking more at just better camera control and things like that within the editor. We haven't had any discussions about the 3D connection mouse or anything like that, though.
Okay, cool. So hopefully we'll get that soon. All right, General Zod, when can we have true metallic reflections? Right now, everything looks dull.
You mean like actually reflecting what's going on in the experience like a mirror?
Is that what you mean, Zod? Zod is going to clarify in chat. Yes.
Ooh, yeah, that's a big can of worms.
Yeah, that would be a major performance hit to have true reflections, but there certainly is possibility of doing some better environment mapping tricks to get shiny surfaces to look shinier. If you have specific examples where you're disappointed in the look of shiny objects, definitely post a link to those on Discord, and I'll get the render team to look at it.
All right, so big can of worms there, and that can is not going to have true reflections in it either. So let's move on to the next one. Love Anime asks, what happened over the American holiday period that opened up a memory leak in our PCs?
Nothing. Whatever do you mean?
Landon is gaslighting you. No,
No,
just kidding.
No, serious. So I think we were trying to fix a memory bug and put out a quick release to get that out, and it introduced another problem, and we didn't catch it in QA and on the end of our testing, and we had to put a release out to patch it out. I mean, it's nothing really more than that. I'm encouraging everyone, and I think we are doing a lot of work about trying to get things done quickly and getting things out in front of users as quickly as possible. And there's going to be some breakage when we kind of take that attitude. And we were trying to get this fixed out and introduced a problem, and as a result, that's the short story.
It was an interesting bug. I have 64 gigabytes of RAM, and it used up all 64 gigabytes of RAM.
Wow. I wish we had a better story for it, like it was the Russians or something. Or a rogue firework hit one of our servers, but, fireworks are already dangerous enough. Okay. Evo asks, I think Evo's on Twitch, why is an experience point system being made that is a one-size-fits-all, whether you like it or not, where most games have their own rules based on experience points, increasing at their own rates, their own awards, etc. This seems to me like a system that's good only for those who can't make their own games, but nothing beyond that. Is that the intention?
I'm not quite sure I 100% understand. What we're trying to do is have a framework that all users can engage in and all creators can tap into in an elegant way. And so having a universal system across all experience, all worlds that the creators are making, I think has a number of valuable qualities to it, because you can take a look at someone's level and immediately know that there's a consistent scale to be measured there, and consistent. You don't have 10 different experience point level systems. You have one that you can look at and compare to. And so we're trying to make it simple and easy and accessible, and tie a number of different systems into it down the road. This is just sort of an infrastructure framework, and so I think as we build out the reward system, we build out other things in the future, I think it will pay big dividends. Having a lot of different systems out there that are all individually made by creators can be confusing to a user trying to understand as they jump around and sort of relearn things. So this way you only have to learn it once. But I think given our scripting system, I still think that creators have an enormous amount of flexibility to make their own worlds, their own stories, and their own unique gameplay frameworks within this system. And so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Cool, thanks, Astari. Loki asked, any news for Valve Index headset users?
I think the news that we have is that we've done a little bit of work to support the hand controllers. There's another question a little bit further down about supporting individual fingers. We don't yet have that fully integrated. We do support just the basic functionality that the Oculus and the Vive controllers have, which is like index finger versus full grab and thumb. And in the near future, we'll work on getting that full finger support that the index can do. But yeah, we're working on it.
Working on it. Okay. Speaking of headsets, will Sansar ever be available on the Oculus Quest? That comes from Aquarian Doll.
I mean, it's really tough, right? So the hardware spec for the Quest is like 10% or so that of our current hardware spec for Sansar. I mean, it's really a question of about visual fidelity, right? And at this point, we have not wanted to invest in making the change of Sansar to really reduce the beauty of all of the work that people are doing to try to target Quest. It's not we will never do it. It's not anytime soon.
Okay, cool. Korean Doll understands. All right. So next we have Ransom. When? Oh, I think we already answered that. When is the Valve Index? Yep. Okay. El Diablo asks, does Sansar have a booth at Comic-Con, and if so, which hall? Or what are you listed as in the program? I have friends that are exhibitors that want to find it. So I can answer that. We are in the Top Cow booth, which is right across from the Marvel booth and right next to Dark Horse Comics. And then we also have, so we're split across two booths, and we just have some setups at those booths. So we don't actually have our own booth. We have 2 or 3 VR stations at the Top Cow booth, and then we have one with Greg Aranowitz, who's in the independent comics section. And so you can find those pretty easily on the map. Yep. So you can also find that on our social, where I put an actual booth number. It's escaping me right now. But if whoever wants to come by and see that, they can. But it won't have a giant Sansar logo or anything. We don't have our own booth there. Okay. Also, if your friends want to go into Sansar and see what's going on, they can also take the virtual tours, which are up on the events page. All of you are welcome to do that as well. All right, next question. Medhugh, are there more persistence-related things coming in the future for creators?
Yes.
All right, Medhu, get excited. You got a yes. Do you have any follow-ups, Medhu?
I would say, wait.
Details, perhaps.
Ignore, who was that?
Begnari asked for more details.
Yeah. I know everybody is very anxious about having a persistent storage engine, and it's something that we are actively working on. It's a little bit tricky, as you might know, and so I don't have a date for that, but it's something that we'd like to get out sooner rather than later.
Okay, cool. So that's coming at some point. We'll have more info for you when we have more info for ourselves. Naya asked, nope, we already answered it. Loki, can we please have a feature to change clothes and attachments in the thumbnail pic after the initial upload?
Yeah, so actually I answered that in chat, and we're currently working on that. Should come out soon.
Okay, working on it. Sorry, I missed it in chat. And okay, so Asha has another question. Regarding reflections, couldn't you support reflection probes a la Unity?
I'm not the right person to answer that question. I don't know that we have anyone here that might be good to answer that question this week.
There's a lot of different tricks that we could try for cheaper reflections, but reflections themselves are not ever going to be cheap to do. They're always going to have a high performance impact. There are tips and tricks to make it less bad, but yeah, with the current visual fidelity, adding reflections is just going to be expensive.
How about for RTX graphics cards? Could you have options for more advanced graphic cards that do it on the hardware side?
Part of the problem is just it's not a top priority for us, and especially anything that's only going to be supported on a small subset of hardware that people are using. So, yeah, unfortunately, we know it would be nice. It's just not a current priority to look into.
And I would just add, because one of the things we're really trying to do is to make our performance a lot better. I don't know how many people were at the Monster Cat and the Glitch Mob events, but we have a bar that we're trying to hit in terms of frames per second, and we're spending a lot of time trying to keep it that at scale, and adding features like reflective metal or even just straight up mirrors is kind of running counter to that, and so it's a little bit of give and take. So once we get to the point where we're very happy, or I would say happy with our performance at scale, then we'll probably pick up looking at some of those other features.
All right. Medhu asked, command data. What was that? Command data classes are currently very limited. Could we at least get E and Q as options? If not, you basically have one or two options, or the player has to move their hands for WASD or the mouse.
Yeah, it's a fair question. I mean, ultimately, I think what we would like to do is give you full flexibility to basically use any key on the keyboard or any button on the Oculus or Vive controllers and give that some sort of action through script. I can't say when right now because it's not an immediate priority, but it is definitely something we want to do and support. As well as letting you guys actually rebind the keys that you do for certain things. If you don't like WASD for walk, or you want jump to be a different button or crouch to be a different button, like ultimately we want to be able to let you guys define your own control scheme.
Okay, great. Zero Cheese asks, can we have a way to point someone to teleport an exact XYZ location in one experience from another experience, bypassing the spawn point? So we could put building interiors within a different experience, and when you walk back out, you don't spawn back at the spawn point, to help balance resource and reduce rendering lag.
That's not a bad idea.
Oh, Zero, 2 for 2, baby. That's it.
2 cheese.
2 cheese. Got his own XP system. All right, here we go. General Zod asks, when are you going to even consider the possibility of a character inventory live in world, and more UI element uses for scripters so they can make use of them in creation of the games? Is it ever going to happen? He just wants to know what to expect from this platform.
Well, the good news I can give you is that we are already considering all of those things. It's just a matter of resources and prioritization, as with all things. We've had discussions internally about some sort of scriptable UI element. We've talked about both avatar hot swapping and some sort of inventory of things that you can carry around with you and pull out and use and share with other people, and even perhaps bring from one experience to another, but that's a bit of a stretch goal, definitely. It's really hard to say when these things are going to land because it's not an immediate priority, but just know that we are discussing them and we are interested in tackling those types of things.
Right, there are also some complications I think we need to solve. So, for example, if you're using Marvelous Designer clothing, we won't be able to support that. Changing Marvelous Designer clothing or adjusting it in world. So that's one of the things we need to look into.
All right. Tia asked, sorry, I'm having trouble reading this. I would love to give in-world rewards. Not sure how that works right now. I assume they would have to redeem through the store.
Are you talking about through the quest system or just through some vendor that you built?
Tia, do you want to clarify that in chat? Yes, for example, it's a treasure hunt, Tia says.
I'm not sure I still understand the question.
I assume that's a quest.
What are you hoping to do, I guess is my question.
Tia, if you want to use voice, you can.
The info I can give you now is when we have item rewards, they'll be delivered to your inventory after you complete the quest. And if it was like a character item, you'll have to go back into your character editor. You'll see that it's a new item, so it'll be obvious, but then you'll have to put it on a character or do the things you would normally do if you had bought something from the store.
I see. Okay, so it looks like Tia wants to put treasures or rewards inside of a treasure chest. So when you open it, you can collect it there.
Yeah, if we did something like that, I imagine it would be delivered through the similar store mechanism.
Okay, cool. Aquarian Doll asks, will there be a possibility to update existing products, not just the listing?
Yes. We've talked about it internally. We're working on designs for it. We will have, as we've said in previous meetups, one opportunity with the release of Avatar 2.0 to update Avatar assets to be compatible with the new Avatar system, and we are hoping to extend that system at some point after that to a proper upgrade system. So it is on the roadmap. I don't have a specific time frame for when that's going to be delivered, but it is actively being talked about.
Okay. Medhu asks, what about allowing creators to limit the amount of people in each instance? When can we have that?
I think before you're going to see something like a creator ability to define instance limits, you might see something more like an instance browser on the play side, where you can see how many different instances might be spun up for a given experience and who might be in those instances and pick which one you're joining, and even maybe pull people into that with you. If I'm not mistaken, I think we're looking at doing those types of things before we offer creator ability to control those instance limits.
Okay, and then go ahead.
I just want to comment on that it's great to have an open world. It's one of the benefits of creating here is we instantly have multiplayer. But creating a game, to just have 50 players running around in an experience, it's almost unmanageable.
Yeah. No, I totally understand. And
we understand that, but we also have to think about the resource cost, because if you build a game, how low can that limit be? What if you create a chess game and you say 2 players per instance, and you have 10,000 people playing chess? That's 5,000 servers. There's some cost associated with that. So right now, by having higher density per instance, we manage sort of the infrastructure cost to some degree. So it might have to be associated with some sort of business model where you have to subscribe for the capability to have low concurrence in those instances to sort of make the cost equation work out right.
It could be that a creator might want to create like a single player, and a player playing the game might pay a Sansar dollar to get in. Who knows what the rate would need to be, but I'd like to see those types of numbers or thought process, because I think we kind of need it in the gaming. And
yeah, and so we just have to figure out how do we scale where the average concurrency per instance gets pushed down, because a lot of successful experiences are single player or dual player or something like that. And before we open that can, we gotta figure out how to, make the finances make sense.
All right, Timey, you've got your hand up. I don't want you to hurt your shoulder.
With the coming of giving items at the end of quests, will that support giving a selection of items that they could win? So, they don't have to be stuck to the one item that they potentially could get?
If I can remember correctly, it's you can offer somebody a single item. You can offer somebody, I think, up to 3 items for completing that quest, so they can up to 3 items. You can offer somebody a selection of 2, like you can say, here are 2 items, select one of them. And then I also believe we're doing some variation on that to say, like, you can select 3 items, and then one of those items you select is a choice between 2 items. So it's like a hybrid of the 2 models. And if based off your feedback, if we find we need more variations or we need to expand the number of selections, we can talk about that as well. But that's where we're starting.
All right, we have time for one more question. I don't want to leave it out because they asked. Bonafide asked, do you have a target for total people in one place, and what might that be? In one experience.
I mean, it's always increasing. So right now we're at 50. Our next milestone is 70, but we'd like to get to 100 in the foreseeable future.
All right. Thanks, everybody. That's all the time we have for today. We have Sansar Top 5 happening right now, which is a crowd favorite. I've dropped a link in the chat. You can join us there. And everybody, thanks. Make sure to give your appreciation to the product team who's working very, 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 very hard to make Sansar, what everybody wants it to be. And they're all here, so it'd be a good time to thank them.
Yay, team.
Okay, only Solus has praise. Everybody else is like, I don't give praise that easily. Give me persistence, then I'll give you persistent claps. There we go. That's what people say. Well, I'll thank the team. Anyways, I'll see you all at the top 5.
Thank you, everybody. You going to the top 5, Solus?
Yes, I am.